Just Cool Radio disturbing the silence. Everybody turn it up loud, loud, loud. Just Cool Radio. Madina.
Are you looking to take your business, community project, or product to the next level? Want to reach a dynamic and engaged audience? Look no further than JusCoolRadio.com. At Just Cool Radio, we offer the perfect platform to showcase your brand. Our diverse programming and loyal listeners are the ideal match for your advertising needs. Whether you're a local business, an emerging entrepreneur, we've got you covered. Want to add some star power to your event? Book Just Cool Radio talent to bring excitement and professionalism to your next big occasion. Our talented hosts and DJs will keep your audience entertained and engaged. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Visit JusCoolRadio.com today to learn more about our affordable advertising packages and booking options. Just Cool Radio, disturbing the silence, catching the eyes of many.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome to Just Cool Radio, Women's Wellness Wednesday. We're back again for another wonderful, amazing edition of Women's Wellness Wednesdays. Thank you so much for tuning in. And how are you doing this wonderful Wednesday? We've reached the middle of the week, the hump, and we are just super excited to have you here today. I have an amazing guest coming. It's just the maid. I'm so super excited. She's on her way, and we just want her to get here safe. So we just want her to be on time and safe. It's not a problem. She'll be coming in at the top of the hour. So we're just really, really, really happy to have you here on the 14th of May, 2025. And the 14th of May is just such a super amazing day. There's a lot going on. I mean, May in itself is actually jam-packed with so much going on. Do you know, right from the beginning of May, but I'm not going to go all the way back to the 1st of May. Let's just even start from the 12th, because whether you know it or not, 12th to the 18th of May is Mental Health Awareness Week. So what an amazing week for us to be doing Women's Wellness Wednesday in the middle of Mental Health Awareness Week. So we've got a lot going on. It's super exciting. So yeah. So imagine on the 12th, that was Monday, 2 days ago, it was International Women in Mathematics Day. Up, 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 big up all the women in mathematics. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yes. And also on the 12th, it was National Limerick Day. So I want all of you to put in the comments a limerick or two. A limerick, even if it's 2 lines of a limerick. Because as I believe, limericks are 4-lined poems. Can you correct me if I'm wrong? I think this is 4-line poems, a limerick. So I'm sure you know something. It goes along the sort of da 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 da. I think that was 4 lines. Or is it 6-liner? Please correct me. Let me know. A limerick. Is it 5 lines or 4 lines? I can't remember. I do not remember well whether it was the 4 lines or 5 lines. So that's a good one. In the comments, let's see if we can remember what it is that a limerick is. On the 12th, it was Buddha Day. There we go. On the 12th again. So there's a lot going on the 12th of May. International Nurses Day. Big up the nurses in the nation and around the world. We really, really love our nurses, don't we? And we don't really just remember them when we're sick or when we need their help. We're just so grateful that they're there all the time. We need to know that the nurses are, during COVID, taking us back now to COVID, to during the pandemic. Remember in the UK, we used to bang or make a noise for the NHS, for all the people working in NHS. Yes, because we appreciate the hard work that they're putting in. And at that time during COVID, they were putting themselves at some sort of risk, weren't they, if you remember? So yeah, big up the nurses, International Nurses Day on the 12th. This is education for me too. Who knew? On the 13th was Yom Hazat Mot. On the 13th was World Cocktail Day. Was that yesterday? Did we miss that? No. Can we go back a day? World Cocktail Day. Are we missing World Cocktail Day? Oh my! Look, all I'm going to say to make you feel good is make yourself a cocktail today in celebration of yesterday. Do it today. Yes, that's right, Neens. I think we all deserve a little cocktail today, even though it was yesterday. So yes, we're celebrating the whole of May, International Cocktail Day. I'll have some of that. Yes, please. Today, the 14th, International National Receptionist Day. So well done and congratulations to all those receptionists out there. So, everybody has a day, don't they? Everybody gets to have a day. Good afternoon, Neens. I can see you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. It's amazing. Yeah, we're going to have that cocktail today. To the end of the week. So from tomorrow, 15th, is International Day of Families. I thought I'd mention that, even though it's tomorrow, because that's important too. During Mental Health Week, which we're in, we're also celebrating International Day of Families. Yeah, that's important. I really love that we can go back and just go back to the basics of the family. The family is really important, isn't it? Isn't the family important? That's where it all starts from. They say charity begins at home. Charity begins with your family, doesn't it? Love begins with the family. So this week or tomorrow, we're celebrating the family. Also on the 16th is Endangered Species Day. And it's also the International Day of Light. Don't we just love that? We love that. So that is a lot of things. Like I said, May is just super duper amazing. There's so much going on in May. Today, I also want to just give a shout out to celebrities. Can I even say the word celebrities? Celebrities who we know are celebrating their birthdays today. So it's a long list. So I'm just going to say their names out. And if you know them, you know them. And I'll just let you know there are some from Twitch, YouTube stars, actresses, actors, directors. There are some names that you will quickly recognize. You'll know them already. And some that may be new to us, but we celebrate you all. We love birthdays. I just love birthdays. I do. So there's Pokimane, Nicolette Durazo, Miranda Cosgrove, The Odd Is Out, Adrian Nunez, Braceface, Dot Nunu, Emery Bingham, Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Hughes, Ollie Mers, Rylan Adams, Luca Bish, Carissa Eve, Rob Gronkowski, correct me if I got that wrong, Kate Blanchett, we know Kate Blanchett, Martin Garrix, George Lucas, Pyrocynical, Roshan Daya, Goha Khan, ASMR Darling, Sophia Coppola, Joss Carrot, and Jacqueline Guillory. So these are just to name a few that have been listed who are celebrating their birthdays today. What do we want to say to them? Happy birthday to you. We just love birthdays. I do love birthdays a lot. I'm a member of a group. And we grew up, we've known ourselves since we were teenagers, yes. And we're still together now. And we stayed together even before Facebook, before WhatsApp, before that, we managed to stay in touch. Do you have a group? If you put in the comments, do you have a group that you've stayed in touch with from maybe primary school, secondary school, university, college, work? It could be anywhere that you have managed to stay in touch with these people over not just years, but decades. We stay in touch with these people. And I'm just so happy to be a member of this group. And I was the welfare officer for 15 years. Yes, I loved my job. My job entailed announcing all the birthdays every single day. Every day there was a birthday in the group. It was my job to announce the birthdays. I loved it. I loved it. It became a routine for me. I almost cried when when it was taken away from me. I didn't. They had to drag it away from me. Oh, Neen says just college, not school, as I went to too many. I love that, Nins. I love that so much. Just you and me both. It's too many to mention, but it's great to have a select few, a select few in the hand that you can relate to and call upon and call your besties. Yeah, these are besties. So that's why I'm super excited today because my guest, oh my goodness, my guest is one of those friends that I have known since secondary school. So yes, I'm really buzzing and excited to have her join us when she gets here. I can't wait. I don't know if you can tell how excited I am to have her, and she's on her way. So yeah, it's good to stay in touch and it's good to celebrate birthdays. I think so anyway. Maybe that's just me. But you can put in the comments what you feel about birthdays. I know there are some people who don't want to be reminded of their age and then growing up or another 365 days around the sun, all that kind of thing. Some people just don't want to be reminded and just want to get on with it. That's fair enough. No judgment, it's fine. But personally, I love to celebrate birthdays. So here we go. So also, just to also, I mean, there's so many. I told you, it's too much going on in May. It's just too much. Last Sunday was Mother's Day in the US of A. So we're saying hi and congratulations to all the mothers stateside, across the pond. Happy Mother's Day. And as most of you know, mothers just shouldn't be celebrated in one day of the week. No, mothers are for life and for every single day. All the wonderful things that mothers do and the jobs that we find ourselves doing and everything like that. We need to celebrate our mums every single day. Oh, and Nin says she used to love celebrating birthdays, but not now has hit the big number. Oh, come on, Nins. What's the big number? You can't. Look, big number. Milestone birthdays are to be celebrated. Yes, celebrate each and every second that you have been alive on this earth. It's to be celebrated. We're still here. We're still breathing. We're here for a reason. We're here for a cause and a purpose. And there's only one you. You're unique. That is worth celebrating alone. So don't tell me that. Oh, I love it. Neen says that's what I tell my daughter that every day. So if you tell your daughter, shouldn't you live by what you preach? Yeah, practice what you preach. Yeah, but we'll travel instead now, Lo. Oh, I love that. No, I love that. I'll take that. Yep. Traveling is good. Traveling is good. Travel is a good way to celebrate one's milestones and birthdays. Yeah. So we're not looking on the bad side. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Now we feel we got the time to keep traveling or doing those things that you've been putting off, putting on the shelf and saying, oh, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I'll do it next month. And before you know it, another year's gone by. And you think, where's the time gone? So there's no time like the present to do whatever it is you decided you want to do. This is the right age. This is the right time. This is the right time. So, like I said, we're celebrating moms. We've celebrated moms. But again, we find ourselves in, guess what? Exam season. Oh, yes. It's exam season in the UK. It's exam season. We know children that have either started their exams or are about to start, or, in the thick of it, or at least they're preparing. Oh, my goodness. I need to put my teeth back in. They're preparing for their exams. They've been revising. They've been reading. They've been studying. So all around them right now is just exams, tests, pop quizzes. Back in Sunday, again, I taught in the Sunday school. I'm on a rota. I'm on a rota for our Sunday school, and it was my turn this Sunday. So I asked the children, has anyone started their exams? A few had already started. Are you about to start? A lot of them said yes, they're going to start in a few weeks' time. So I told them, you know what you can do? Because we don't want you to have any fear for your tests, for your exams. We don't want you to have any anxiety. So when you get into your class and your teacher just says, okay, we're going to do a pop quiz now, time for a pop quiz or a test. Or if it's one that has been planned and you know that you were going to have this exam, sit down and breathe. We went through the breathing exercise that we did last week. So I'm going to take us through it again. And Nim says, SATs for my daughter this week. Yes, I hear you. All those doing SATs, we wish you well. We know you're going to ace them. And you've studied all you need to study. Now you just need to turn up, sit down, and breathe. So if everyone would like to just take a few minutes with me and breathe. So remember, we breathe in for 4 seconds through our nose. Hold it. And release for 6 seconds through our mouth. Already I'm feeling relaxed. I hope you are too. Put in the comments. Are you feeling relaxed yet? Let's do it one more time. Breathe in. And out. Oh, yes. I'm really feeling juicy now. I am feeling very loose and relaxed. And that's the way we should be. That's the way you should feel when you approach anything in life. Doesn't matter if it's an exam, if it's a test, a pop quiz, an interview, starting a new job, going to university, or any new thing or project that we take on in life. The first thing we must do is relax. Put in the comments some of the things that you feel people should be relaxed for when they're going to do these things for the first time. There are many things. Something else has come to mind that could be a good thing for them to be relaxed and feel very relaxed for when they're going to do these things. I'm thinking about when you're doing your driving lessons or taking a driving test. What else do you think that we could be feeling relaxed for when we are doing them? Okay, so we've done the breathing exercise and we're feeling chilled. And so what I want us to do now is just sit down. If you're driving, be attentive. Be attentive if you're driving. And I just want us to listen to a little bit of music to further relax us. Don't go away. We'll be back in a few. And we're back. Thank you for that interlude. I hope we've all got ourselves a beverage or a drink or water or whatever it is we needed to get. And as you can see, my wonderful guest has joined us. Yay! Yeah, well, she timed it well during the break. She came in and we're just so pleased to have her here. And as I mentioned before, this is a very special guest to me, very dear to my heart. I love her so much. Like I said, we went to school together. So I've lost the bio.
Great start.
It's a great start. What it is we talk so much, and it's on my WhatsApp, and I'm scrolling furiously here, as you can see. I've just realized, oh my gosh, I've got to introduce her. Oh my gosh. Do you know what? I think that's going to be the best thing. I'll let you introduce yourself.
We've set the tone for the program, as you can see.
So let me introduce the amazing, wonderful, glorious, and I just love her to bits from the bottom of my heart, the amazing Bebe CLEMENT. I love you, darling. I love you so much. Please tell us about who is Bebe CLEMENT.
Okay. So Bebe CLEMENT is an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur.
Yes, definitely.
And alongside my husband, we run a group of small companies, and these range over a number of industries, from law to speaking and coaching to business management, those kind of things. I have a background in employment law, as you know, and but I'm very passionate about particularly business and wealth creation, as well as leadership and governance, which is what I speak about the most in the corporate space, leadership and governance. And then I am married with 2 kids.
Awesome. Okay. So do go on.
Yes.
Tell us more about the Bebe CLEMENT before she was Bebe CLEMENT. Back on the days of our secondary school days.
Okay.
We're going way back.
We're going way back. Does my memory go that far back?
Oh yes, it does. I'm here to prompt you. I'm here to prompt you.
We went to, as you said, we went to secondary school together.
Yes.
Back in Nigeria, we went to a school called Girls Secondary Grammar School, which I happened to drive past the other day. Actually,
oh my gosh! You have to tell me about that. Oh my word! This is taking us back down memory lane. Oh wow!
And so we went to secondary school there, and then after that, I went and got a first degree in English.
Okay.
And you know how Nigerian parents are? They think that if you haven't got a profession, you've wasted your time in
Absolutely.
university. So after 4 years of university, my dad said, "Well, so what happens now?
What now? What are you going to do now?
Like you were just twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah. Are you going back? What's next?
Yeah. So it was made very clear to me that a degree in English wasn't very impressive, so I had to go into something else.
Yep. Definitely. So that's our dear parents of blessed memory. God bless their souls.
So I went and studied law, and I specialized in employment law, and I still practice that on and off today, but not as much as I used to. Yes, but I'm very passionate more these days about business and entrepreneurship and wealth creation, particularly for our people. I'm very passionate about our people doing well in this land. We've been here for ages. We contribute a whole lot in this land, tax-wise, whatever it is. We do. So I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be eating the fruit of the land. Yes, I'm very passionate about my people doing financially well as a collective. It's great if 1 or 2 people are doing well, but that's really not what I'm interested in. As a collective, that we are a force to reckon with financially in this land.
Absolutely. And I did say, what 3 things stand out as different from our school days? You know, around now with the children and the way they are, what do you think is different? You said you weren't sure what I meant. I mean, uniform-wise even. Sometimes I see uniforms that have been adapted to look like like you're going to the club.
Yeah.
And I look at it and I think, oh, in my day, wow.
Dare you?
Or dare you not?
You even think about it.
You would not dare to hike your skirt up to your knickers.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
And also, when I worked briefly as an education welfare officer, I remember there was an occasion when one of the young ladies, she fell pregnant, and all the my colleagues were rushing around to try and make life a lot easier for her. They let her stay home. They'd ask her if there are 1 or 2 days that she might be able to manage to come in. They had an adapted secondary school skirt for her. And I had to remind myself that I wasn't in Nigeria anymore and that this is acceptable. And these are the sort of things I felt like, oh, it's how I've been brought up. It was a bit of a shock to me to see this. And it was part of the reason I left the job, because I felt it's better I leave before I say something and get myself into a lot of trouble. So what sort of things do you see that are different from our days that are acceptable right now?
Well, it's interesting that you asked that, because one of the things I didn't mention is that I'm a visiting lecturer at Bayes Business School, which is the business school for University of London. So, of course, I'm in touch with young adults almost on the daily.
Yeah.
And for me, it's a whole different world. It is just a whole different world.
In what way?
First of all, even the mere attitude towards education is so different. I mean, we kind of saw education as a way out of poverty. It was drummed into you from a very young age that, listen, you were not born with a silver spoon in your mouth. And if you want to make anything of yourself, if you want your tomorrow to be better, this is the only avenue. Your education is the only avenue out of poverty, out of a life with limited options, that kind of thing. It was drummed into you from a very young age.
Absolutely.
So education wasn't considered a right for a start. It was a privilege. That's the way we saw it. And I remember, when I used to do something wrong, my father used to threaten me by saying he was going to stop paying my school fees. I would be depressed for days.
You'd be scared.
You'd be scared.
Oh my gosh. No
I
school.
Might not get an education.
No school. What? So, well, some people.
You shaped up real quick.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now it's almost as if to say, sometimes I feel that some of these kids think that they're doing you some kind of favor by getting an education.
Oh yeah, it's the attitude is that you are forcing them to do something they really don't want to do.
So that's been different, and like you said, that's been a bit of a shock to the system. Another thing that has been different is the relationship between, I don't know if this is just a general phenomenon with this current generation, but the relationship between a teacher and a student, or a lecturer and a student.
Yes.
So I often have to remind my students when they send me emails that I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend. I'm a lecturer. So you can't be sending me emails starting, hey, or hi. You can't do that.
Yeah.
And you can tell
it's
by their
basic.
response that they're
it's
surprised. Why can't I start an email saying hi?
Yeah, I know you. We talk. Why
talk,
not? Why not? There has to be that boundary.
Yeah. So I have to remind them that I'm not your friend. I am a lecturer.
Absolutely.
So that is different as well. And then of course we've entered into the whole mental health space, which, as far as I'm concerned, has swung too far. The pendulum has swung too far. Yes, I'm happy that there is a recognition of mental health issues. I mean, I have kids, so I know it's important that they do recognize them.
Yeah.
But I do think that the pendulum has swung too far. Things that I feel are just the normal, not even stresses, but the normal activities of life are now considered things that you have to avoid. Any kind of pressure, any kind of demand, that's even a better word, any kind of demand on your life in any way, shape or form is to be avoided, is to be shut down, is to be circumvented, that kind of thing. And I think if we let our children continue in that way, life is going to shock them.
Yeah.
Because life is going to keep being life.
They're not being prepared.
They're not being prepared for life. So things that should just, you literally have to say to them, all you need is grit here. You just have to face this and do what needs to be done. Even things like self-discipline matters. Getting up on time and coming to a lecture.
Yes.
They will tell you, oh, miss, I overslept. And they expect you to understand. They don't see why it's a big deal when you ask them to wait outside or see me afterwards. They just don't get it. So I think that's different. But also as an employer, I do employ some young people, and I can honestly say that young people are not ready for the marketplace. They're not. The general phenomenon. I mean, you do get the odd one.
Yeah.
But as a general phenomenon, from my experience, they're not ready for the marketplace. They're not. That entitlement mentality has followed them into the marketplace. Again, they're going to find it very hard.
Hold that thought. I have a question for that, but I just want to go to the comments. We have N, who says attitudes to education have changed.
Yeah.
I guess this is because of the negative decline in the economy and workforce, etc. What do you feel about that? Do you have?
Well, the question is then, what is the alternative to the marketplace? What's the alternative? We've got to work, and we've got to earn our bread and butter. So there is no alternative for it. So they've got to be prepared. It may not be perfect, but there is no alternative. And with the advent and the continuous advancement of AI, man, if they continue with that attitude, and AI really gets its grips on the marketplace as we're being told it will, then I shudder to think of what the future holds for our young people.
Yeah. Well, you see, AI is on its way, but they feel that we have to live with what we have. I mean, Nim says social media has a lot to do with it. A lot of them feel that they can make their way on social media. They don't have to get the traditional 9-to-5 job because there's always the social media alternative.
I think they need a bit of a reality check. Yes, there are a couple of people who have done well via social media, but when you compare the figures to those who have done well and those who have fallen by the wayside, I think you find that the latter greatly outnumber the former. So yes, I can play football and then I'll get signed up for a multi-million-pound deal by the age of 18, but how many people do that?
Very few.
Very few. And then what is your lifespan as a footballer? 10 years? Then what do you do after that?
That's the question.
That's the question.
And going back to what you were saying about what is the alternative is either signing on.
Signing on.
It dreads me to say it, signing on, or getting a low, maybe working in one of the fast food chains that we will not mention right now. So we got going back to Nin says, N, I agree with you. So Nins is agreeing with your comment. There you go. So that's good. That's your all in. She's already replied to that. Awesome. And Anton, too bad, says everybody is a winner attitude has caused laziness.
That's true.
What do you have to say about that?
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. I think we've actually done our children a disservice. I remember when my youngest was in primary school and he was in, the inter-house sports. And I was shocked to discover that they don't have winners.
No.
They just everyone's
a winner. It's the taking part.
Really?
I ran my socks off here.
You have to compete at every level. Life demands that you compete, whether you like it or not. When you go to an interview, you're competing. You apply for a job, you're competing. Yeah. So to make us our children believe that they don't have to compete, it's the taking part that matters. It does them a disservice. And I remember one of his classmates saying, who had won the race.
Yes.
Rejoicing and saying, I won, and he's being told off by a teacher, and just like you said, it's the taking part. And he said, I still won. And I thought, good on you.
I love it.
He understands.
He took his flowers. Well done. He knew he won. Because when there's a competition, someone has to win.
Someone's got to win.
And someone's got to lose. Unfortunately, that's life. And it's not just in the inter-house sports at school. You're going to find out, like you said, when you go to job interviews, if you got the job, that means somebody somewhere didn't.
Even in relationships, if he decided to marry you, well, there are a list of other women he didn't marry. Everything is a competition.
Everything. So we're competing from the moment we are born.
Yeah.
Even when we were not born and we were a sperm, we were competing. With
the race had begun.
If you don't know, you know. We are winners from the day we were born. But that's when the competition starts again. So it's really interesting for your observations. What do you think we can do to sort of I was going to say eradicate, but there's no, it's not. That's not the word.
Yeah.
To sort of smooth the way towards a more balanced outlook.
I think parents have a large role to play. I mean, there have been times I've had to say to my children, maybe if they've not done well in something, and the whole there kind of thing. No, I'm not doing the there.
No.
I'm not doing that. Why didn't you do well? Let's get
yes.
to the root of the problem.
Oh yes.
You didn't do well because you got up late, and you got up late because you're lazy. So we're gonna let's deal with the root.
And you went to bed late.
So let's deal with that. So there's no
yes.
there. My kids know me. There's no stroking you, pat.
Oh yes.
No.
I used to get the talk. If I got 98%, my dad would be, why didn't you get 100%? Why did you get 100%?
My mum used to ask me, the person that came first, are
Yes.
they paying more school fees than me?
Can you imagine? You see? Yeah, it's never good enough. You got to be the best.
That's another swing of the pendulum. I think that one's a bit
and we always used to tell our children that, we were always 1 to 5 in the class. And they'll be like, yeah, really? What about the other? Well, were we up to 30? What about the other 30 in the class? Or 25? You were always 1 to 5.
No,
you had to be if you lived in my house. You didn't want to come home if you were between 1st and 5th in the class. You would just stay in school. Going back to the comments, Neen says, they can retire then. When we were asking what's the alternative.
At 25?
That's an early retirement. And he said,
I'm not retiring on my sofa.
okay, regarding football players, yes. But can everybody, like you said, can everyone be the top earning football player?
Even that. Getting
Yes.
signed. I mean, one of my nephews is playing for Tottenham now. He's 18. But even that, the dedication,
I'm telling
the
you.
self-discipline, the
It's the whole
self-denial.
family, isn't it?
It's everybody.
It's the whole family.
It's everybody.
Oh my goodness, you don't even want to go there. N says you can learn a lot from losing failure, stroke forward
From
slash
losing,
failure. Yeah. So you can definitely. I agree. While you're losing or failing, you're learning. You are learning. And what would you say about that? About because they say that most entrepreneurs have failed how many times
Yes.
before they become successful. No one sees the failures.
Yeah.
They only see when you actually make it. And also you feel like you're learning along the way. And the most important thing is if we learn from our mistakes.
Yes. I think the failure in this context is slightly different from when we're talking about our kids, because even the behind the scenes or beneath the surface strength of character that is needed to keep failing your way to success has to be ingrained in our kids from a young age.
Yeah.
It has to. Great as failure is as a learning tool, but if you don't have that grit, even to be able to view failure as a positive thing, it's going to be very, very difficult. I know kids who don't do well in an exam that clearly they didn't even prepare for anyway, and they fall apart. The next thing, they're on antidepressants. You're on antidepressants at 18.
It's a long way to go.
Yeah.
For the rest of your life.
And if really the root of the problem is not dealt with, the antidepressants are not going to help it.
Yeah, it's just a sticky plaster
That's
over the
it,
real
on
problem.
the cancer, really.
Yes. So I remember my children used to say I was always too happy, too positive. I always looked look on the bright side of life for everything. But what they didn't get was that I was not denying the negative thing that's happened or the bad thing or whatever, but you have to dust yourself off and move on. You've got to look for the silver lining. You've got to learn from that bad thing and then move on. Yeah. And that was where we had some miscommunication. So how are your children doing now?
Oh, they're fine. I have, as you know, one of my children has special needs.
Yes.
So, so that's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
But they're fine. It's fine. Yeah.
Good. So mine. So we got Neen's laughed here. Haha. My daughter asked, does she get a treat for doing her sats?
That's a good one.
We're laughing.
That's a good one.
I love your daughter, Neens.
Tell her her aunties are laughing here.
She made us. She's made our day. She made
Honestly.
us laugh. What? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a good one.
Neen said no, only if she does well in the whole sats. I'm sure if she does, not for doing them, but if you do well all over. I love that.
that's a
I
good
love
one.
that. But that is the attitude of the kid.
Yeah.
You gotta love her for trying. I love that attitude. She's making me laugh too
Oh
much.
my
I'm
God.
telling you. So going back to the questions, what areas did you train in? Because I know you said you did English,
Yeah.
and then at some point you said you went and did law.
Yeah.
And was there any other course or skill that you trained in after law?
Yeah. I got to say, from then onwards, I was self-taught.
Okay.
I kind of understood that the obligation or the duty to develop oneself is yours.
Yes.
And if you want to become more valuable in the marketplace, you do have to develop yourself.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
enough. Academic training or attainment is not enough, particularly in today's marketplace.
Yeah.
You must develop yourself. Now, I do quite a bit of work with HR directors.
Okay.
And it never ceases to amuse me that you can have 3 or 4 people in a team. They all have the same job description. They're all seemingly doing the same work.
Yeah.
And they're all on completely different salaries, and they don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know.
But the company isn't stupid. If you have, a skill that is going to benefit my company, that, not necessarily in your job description, or the rest can't do,
Yes.
obviously you're more valuable.
You're more
to me,
valuable.
and I'm willing to
Yes.
pay for that.
Yeah.
So oftentimes you'll find that the rest of the team, maybe they've got a 2-1 in, whatever it is, they've got a 2-1 in, but that's where they've stopped. But this person has taken the time to develop themselves. So one of the areas
Absolutely.
in which I took time to develop myself was in the area of communication skills, which, as far as I'm concerned, is the most important skill of the 21st century.
Absolutely.
So that was definitely one. How to do presentations, the ability to sell. I learned how to sell because selling is a vital skill.
Absolutely.
So I taught myself how to do that. Not just sell physically, but to be able to speak in a way that will influence people into buying into whatever it is that you want them to buy into.
Yeah.
So those kind of things, how to relate to people, all these EQ skills that are now, that were never mentioned before, but are actually vital now.
Yeah.
All these skills I began to look at and think, okay, girl, you've really got to develop yourself in this area. The skill of negotiation. How do you negotiate? How do you get what you want without making the other person feel that they lost out in some way?
Yeah.
How do you arrive at a win-win situation? Those kind of things. They're vital in the business place. Not everybody has those skills.
That's right.
That kind of thing. The ability to under-promise but over-deliver. Those kind of skills. So I taught myself all those kind of things. And it's ongoing. I don't think you ever really arrive.
No.
For as long as there's breath in your lungs, there's always something to learn.
Every day's a school day.
Every day's a school day. I like that one. I'm going to use that.
We'll talk about that later. You can borrow my phrases. I think it's true to the day we die. We're learning, like you said. We are learning. Everybody's a work in progress. It's hard to say no one's perfect. We'd like to think we are, but we're not. We're human beings. And we have faults. We falter. We make mistakes. But you know what? You get up, you dust yourself off, and you just keep on keeping on. You try. So we're going to take a little break from our list of lovely questions. And we're just going to go now to our uplifting verse of the week. So our quote for today is, if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. And for those Bible boffins out there, it is a verse out of the Bible. It's 1 John 5:14. So as you can see this, what's your take on this verse today? Because we want to reflect on it. We want to reflect on the meaning and relevance of, if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us.
I think that the key to that verse is making sure that your desires line up with his will.
Absolutely.
I really do. Which is not always easy. It's a killing of the flesh kind of procedure.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yes, I think you save yourself so much time and so much energy if you just surrender what you had in mind for what he planned when he made you. I think that, yeah, it halves your journey. You get rid of a lot of the frustration that you have in life if you just align what you want with his will. And if necessary,
I'd like to hear in the comments, what do
change.
you feel is your relevance? Thank you so much for that, for your interpretation of that. And like you said, it's according to his will. What's your take on, if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us? Some may feel that it's the truth, some may not. It depends on what way you're looking at it, what aspect you're coming from. Do you believe that? Because I've seen a lot of evidence in my life. I've asked the Almighty God for many things which I haven't got because obviously they didn't align with his will for my life. But on the flip side, there are a lot of things that I have visualized and prayed for, and I'm seeing them come into manifestation. And well, it didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen straight away. It's taken time. It's taken some time. But along the way, the journey has been very interesting. Yes, that's why I feel that even when we put things out into the universe and you think no one's listening, no one hears you, is anything going to change in my life? He hears us.
Yeah.
Something is going on. Once you've put it out there, something is going on. So what are your favorite quotes? This is one of my favorite quotes. Do you have a favorite quote? Can you think
In
of
relation
one?
to this?
No, anything. Any favorite quote that you have. And our listeners, put in the comments, what are your favorite quotes? There must be some quotes that you have, that you believe in and you've seen. So say something.
There's a quote that one of my benefactors has.
Yeah.
And this is in relation to wealth creation. And she says, God is a miracle worker, but he's not a magician.
Ah!
I love that. I really do.
I do love that. I get that. Yes, yes. He's a miracle worker, but
He's
not
not
a
a
magician. That's deep.
It
That's
is
just
deep.
when you think about it.
It is deep.
Because some people, they don't pray all the time. They don't talk to God all the time. But then something happens in life, something emergency comes up, and they're on their knees and they're praying fervently, and they just want to see something happen yesterday. and that you're saying just comes into its own. Yeah. He is a miracle worker. He does work miracles.
He does.
I mean, there are things that you think is never going to happen in your life, never going to change, and you turn around and it's all falling into the pleasant places.
Yeah.
But he's not a magician.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. That's a good one. That's a good one. So I just want to mention really quickly, I've been on a 7-day raw reset with Dr. Izzy. You remember?
Ooh,
yes.
she's been here.
No, she hasn't been here yet.
Ah.
She's promised to come and visit us, and I'm not going to go deep into what we did because I want Dr. Izzy to explain everything to you. But it was really funny because last week, the bank holiday weekend, my daughter and I went away to Bucharest. And so I was away when this started. So I hadn't even done the shopping.
Ah.
I hadn't got all the ingredients. Oh, Nins, sorry back. I had a call to deal with. Oh, Nins, we did miss you. But and she says resilient. Yes. But welcome back, Nins. Thank you for coming back and joining us. Thank you. So, yeah, I was away. So it was funny. Out there, I had to go to whatever restaurant I could and try and get something as close as to what we were expected to be eating for the day, which was a challenge in itself. And it was real fun. But then when I came back on the Tuesday last week, I didn't even have, because we came back Tuesday night, so I still couldn't buy, and I came straight to do the show here.
Okay.
So it was Wednesday before I bought all the ingredients and started this reset. But you know what? I really enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed it. What I did of it, I really feel the difference. So I will be, there will be another one at some point that Dr. Ize will actually come and share with you, and you
She's
can
brilliant.
get,
You'll enjoy her. She's brilliant. Yeah.
and you can get on that as well. So talking of food, I want to do a little game with you, and I want you to say nay or delicious to some of these foods in this segment called Delicious.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I see what you did there.
You see what I did there? See what I did there? Thank you so much. So, because you're my sister and you will understand, we're going to start with pounded yam.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, go on. Yeah.
Delicious.
I love that. Okay. Yes. I love pounded yam as well. I can eat it all day long. Okay. I'm trying to think of another thing. Radish.
Nay. Can I do it like a horse? Nay.
Nay. Yeah, oh, that's good. Yeah, nay like a horse. Yeah, some people do like radish on their salad or something. Okay. Jollof rice.
Delicious.
And we're going to come back to that. We're coming back to that. Absolutely. Dodo.
Delicious.
If you know what dodo is, please put it in the comments and let us know, because we're doing a lot of cultural food right now. So if you know what I just said, dodo. If you know what it is, put in the comments what you think I just said. Delicious. Yes, I find it delicious as well. I'm saying all my favorite foods here. Goat soup. What do we call it? Goat pepper soup.
Curry goat?
Curry goat soup. Well,
Right.
goat soup.
Delicious, but not as much as the rest.
Not much as the rest. Fair enough. Salad.
Delicious.
Fish and chips.
Delicious, actually, yeah. I love my fish and
We're
chips.
coming back to the UK now. Shepherd's pie.
Nay.
Fair enough. Nay. Some people like it.
Yes, they do. Different strokes.
Steak and kidney pudding.
Delicious. I had that yesterday, actually.
Oh, did you?
Steak and kidney pie
Do you
and
know what?
chips.
Oh, man. I have not had steak and kidney pie in yonks. I don't remember the last time I had steak and kidney pie.
I just had a yearning.
I know. For the good old days, I used to love. Do you know what I used to love? School dinners. I was odd.
You were full-time.
I was odd. When we were in primary school here, I loved school dinners. But they comment, who loves school dinners? Neen said, I've had moi moi. When did you have moi moi? Put your address. I'm coming. I'm coming now.
Who made it? Who made it then?
Who made the moi moi?
Do we have egg and fish?
I'm
and all the-
coming, no. Don't worry. I'll be there. Moi moi. Hey, let's together. Delicious. Oh, my ex-mother. Okay. Nice. Yeah. I hope you got the recipe. Because we're coming round. Yeah. I'll bring the Gary. Don't worry. No, I love it. I love moi moi. I love akara. Delicious. As you can see, we're foodies. We love food. We really do. We
I haven't
really
had
do.
that for ages, though.
Which one?
Akara.
Akara. I know. It's a bit of a mission, isn't it?
Yeah. No, to make it, it just takes a bit too much time for me.
It's too much time.
But I haven't had it for ages. I'd love to.
But if you've got your beans ready, you could either make moi moi like Neen's had, or you could fry it and make akara. But like you said, it's getting it's a bit of a mission to do.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know,
getting on a bit now.
there are some of our foods that we don't get to eat them unless we go to like a wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, Neen says she hasn't got the recipe. Don't worry, Neen. I'll give you the recipe. That would be one of my gifts to you. I have a recipe for moi moi. Don't worry. We'll deal with that. So there are some what sort of foods do you only eat when you go to parties, because it's just too much
There's some things that
palaver or wahala.
Yeah. There's some things I do avoid at parties, to be honest. But I tend to go for the jollof rice.
Jollof, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I do like fried rice as well, but depending on how long it's been sitting out there.
Yeah, you got to be careful with fried rice. There's one that a lot of people I've heard rush for when they go to parties now is abula. They'll literally fight you for it.
Strange enough, I was in Texas last year.
Okay.
And there was this lady that owns this restaurant.
Yes.
And she'd just come back from Dubai. They'd flown her to Dubai to go and make amala at a party.
Oh my goodness! I need to get into that business. Is that if they fly me out there to make amala? Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh, you can look at it. Oh, Neen says she can cook jollof rice. Neens, we need to get to your house. This moi moi and jollof rice is calling us. You have brought the African out in me. I love it. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Abula. It's a different. What would we call it for those who are not familiar?
It's made out of yam flour.
Yeah. It's yam. It's a yam flour consistency. And you eat it with like a wedu soup, like greens and pepper soup made. And it's just something. It's a bit of a palaver to make. That's why people don't really get to eat it till they go to a wedding or a big birthday or all these big occasions. Yeah. And when they see it, it's just so, I don't know, it's like a beeline. Yeah. I mean, I remember going to my friend's daughter's wedding, and they said, these tables can queue up now for the food. And there was this long line. And we were wondering, like, oh, what's this line for? Oh, this was for the normal food. But if you want amala, it's a different line. And we didn't know that for ages. We were on this line, just waiting. And someone finally came down and said, if you want amala, you go over to that table. There was no one there. We went, if you see the way people rushed,
I don't
zoomed.
know if it's an age thing.
I don't know.
It wasn't popular prior.
It wasn't popular.
So I don't know if this is suddenly it's nostalgia or something.
I think it is nostalgia. It brings you back to I don't know, when mum used to cook it for you or something. When your mother or grandmother even
I don't like it personally. I don't like the smell.
Yeah,
but my husband loves it. Oh,
yeah,
God.
I know a few people that don't like it. But there are those that would kill or bite your left arm off to have it. Neen says, "Lord, my daughter will finish it by the time." No. Tell her Auntie D and Auntie Bibi are coming round. No. She cannot finish it. It's not right. Oh, we love that. Okay, let's think of one more food that we like as we get to the top of the hour. One more food. Yam porridge.
I could take it or leave it personally.
Oh, yeah. I love it. For me, it's delicious. But fair enough. It's not everybody's cup of tea. So for me, basically, any food that's made with yam, I'm in there. I'm good to go. Yam is just an amazing gift from God for me. And it's versatile. It's versatile like the potato. It's just, So you can do so many different things with yam. It's just amazing. Why is Neens laughing at us? Why is Neens having a good old laugh? I love that. Okay, guys, we've got to the top of the hour, and we're going to come back later with some real in-depth talk about our finances. Yeah. So we're going to take a breather because it's going to get deep. but it's really important. So strap yourselves in, get yourselves a beverage, drink, whatever you need to do to refresh when we go for a little break. Okay.
Just Cool Radio disturbing the silence. Everybody turn it up loud, loud, loud. Just Cool Radio, Madina.
Are you looking to take your business, community project, or product to the next level? Want to reach a dynamic and engaged audience? Look no further than JusCoolRadio.com. At Just Cool Radio, we offer the perfect platform to showcase your brand. Our diverse programming and loyal listeners are the ideal match for your advertising needs. Whether you're a local business, an emerging entrepreneur, we've got you covered. Want to add some star power to your event? Book Just Cool Radio talent to bring excitement and professionalism to your next big occasion. Our talented hosts and DJs will keep your audience entertained and engaged. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Visit JusCoolRadio.com today to learn more about our affordable advertising packages and booking options. Just Cool Radio, disturbing the silence, catching the eyes of many.
Your eyes are full of hesitation. She makes me wonder if you know what you're looking for. Baby, I wanna keep my reputation. I'm a sensation. You try me once, you'll beg for more. Very much like talking, no, neither walking. You wanna know if I can dance? Yes, sir. Already told you in the first verse and in the chorus, but I will give you one more chance. Boogie, boogie, all
Okay, we are back in the mix. Let's hope you can hear us. Testing, 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 testing. Is your mic on?
Not sure.
Mm-hmm. It should be. Right. So, like I said before we went to our break, where's the mouse gone? We want to have our, want to be, there we go. Here we are. Very good. So we can see the comments coming in, and it's lovely. Susie has joined. Hi, Susie.
Hey, Susie.
Lovely. It's great to see you all, to be honest. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed the first hour. It was really, really enjoyable for us, and I hope it's as enjoyable for you too. Hello, hello, everyone that's joining. We see you, and we're really, really grateful to have you here on Women's Wellness Wednesdays on JusCoolRadio.com. It's just so good to be here. It's really exciting to discuss these matters and have an expert in our midst who who knows about these things. And so I did say before we went to break that we were going to talk about finance, yeah, in all its ramifications, and how we can relate this topic to our mental health and well-being. So our lovely guest, Bebe CLEMENT, is going to read an excerpt from her own book, if you'd like to put it up, Wealth Creation, God's Way. What does she mean by that? Let's find out. Over to you.
Okay, so obviously there are lots of ways to make money, but I think as people of faith, not every way is open to us, or it's not in our best interest to go down certain routes to make money for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to find out what God's take is on making money, and first of all to state that God is interested in our finances. I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but when I listen to Jesus saying you can't serve God and mammon, I would have thought he'd say you can't serve God and the devil. But that alone tells you that mammon is right up there. It's right up there.
Yes.
Money's
yes,
right up there.
Yes.
What's the name used to say? Gina Davenport. She used to say that money isn't everything, but it's right up there with oxygen.
Oxygen. That's right. That's right. Absolutely. It's not everything, but it makes the world go round.
It does. It does. So we ignore it at our peril.
We're at our peril. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But one of the most important stories, I think, for anybody, even those that don't know the Lord or are not of the Christian faith, most people have heard about the story of the talents.
Yes.
And I'm just going to read an excerpt from my book called Wealth Creation God's Way in relation to the talents and just point out a few things.
Yeah. Why it's relevant. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's found in Matthew 25:14 to 30, and it says, I am told this parable is the origin of the use of the word talent to describe a gift or a skill. In the New Testament context, a talent is a value of money or a coin. And in modern times, a talent would be worth about between £1,000 and £30,000. We're not absolutely sure.
Yeah.
And in this account, a master goes on a journey and leaves his servants in charge of his finances. And on his return, he asks each servant to account for what he did with the talents and how faithful he had been in investing and obtaining a return on the investment. The servant who received 5 talents invested them and acquired 5 more. The one who had 2 did the same. The third servant, for reasons that we'll discuss, buried it and returned his 1 talent to the master. So I want to talk a little bit about God's expectations of his servants that we can relate to and we can adapt for our lives. So one was, God gives us resources based on ability. So he gave 1 5, gave 1 2, gave 1 1.
Yes.
And it's based on our ability. And I think that's important so that we don't get jealous of other people's journey.
Right.
Whatever God has given you, he gives the grace for you to handle that thing.
Absolutely.
So you may have, I don't know, let's say 2 things and be looking at Dee who's got 5 things and you're thinking, well, why do I only have 2? But you don't know the amount of grace that is needed for your ability to do whatever it is that you're handling. It may well be whatever you're handling would break me. It may well be it would mess up my marriage. It may well be it would make me greedy. God gave them according to their ability.
Absolutely.
So that's the first thing. The second thing, it's not what you're given that matters. It's what you do with it.
Absolutely.
It's what you do with it.
Absolutely.
That's why I don't have a lot of patience for people who make excuses for their life. I really don't have a lot of patience because we've seen people who have come from the worst kind of background
Absolutely.
and have made something of their life.
That's right.
What's that guy? I forgot his name. He's a Christian. That the paraplegic that doesn't have arms and legs. And look at what he's done with his life.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. Wojcik or something like that. I forgot his first name.
Oh, yes. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So if he can do what he's done, then someone that like me who is able-bodied really doesn't have any excuse. So it's not what you're given, it's what you do with it.
What you do with it.
Yes. And then the third thing, which is what I think is probably most important, is that God actually expects a return on financial resources that he provides for us.
Absolutely.
He expects
return on investment.
Yes.
Yes.
So the talent that he's given us, we will give an account. What did you do with it?
What did you do with it?
What did you do with it?
Yeah.
You know how to write, but you've written that script and it's gathering dust on your bookshelf. You will give an account of that.
Yes.
You know how to cook, and you've never cooked anything to make money, but you're complaining all the time that you can't find a job. You'll give an account for that. So I think it's really, really important to know that God is expecting a return, which is why it's important to discover your gifts.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Absolutely.
And discover them as early on in life as possible, and encourage your children to do the same, so you can get busy doing what it is that God created you to do.
Yeah.
The next thing was a distorted view of God or your circumstances will influence what you do with what you have. Now, the third servant said that his master was a hard man with a habit of reaping where he did not sow. If genuinely held, I find this an interesting opinion of the master for a number of reasons. Firstly, nothing from the text supports this view. Also, he seems to be the only one with this opinion, while the other servants clearly didn't share that. I suspect he merely raised this as an excuse for his lack of achievement. Aren't we good at that?
Oh, yeah. Excuses. There's always a good excuse.
Every underachiever I have met has several inexplicable excuses for their lack of achievement, even when you point out that others in the same situation seem to have been able to make something of themselves. And then lastly, I think God rewards diligence and faithfulness, and he punishes slothfulness. I think that last bit is important. He punishes slothfulness. So you stay there in your little spot, in your little corner of the world, in your comfort zone, and wonder why the world is passing you by. He doesn't just reward, he also punishes slothfulness. Who wants to make an investment and not get any kind of
and not get any return?
Who?
No one. No one.
So I can understand the way he feels. And then lastly, fear is a double-pronged instrument. It can propel you, but sadly it can also paralyze you. This is important because where wealth creation is concerned, timing is often crucial. It can make the difference between eventual success or perpetual poverty. So some of the things that fear can do is fear will make you disregard opportunities. Or I better not do this because I better not do that because. Fear will make you hesitant in handling opportunities that come your way. Fear will make you miss crucial timing, as you may hesitate when you should be charging forward. Fear will stop you from following your instinct, which is vital in business, and fear will distort your image of a situation.
Thank you for that reading. And going on what you've just said, so would you say the servant that was given the talent, the one talent, and went to bury it, was it fear?
Well, that's what the excuse he gave. He said, I was afraid about how you were going to respond, so I just hid it.
So he just hid it and expected it to grow all by itself
or
some miracle or magic was going to come upon that one talent. So what would you say is from what you've read, what would you say was the takeaway that we should take away from this excerpt that you have read to us today?
That each person has been given something. I don't care who you are. Everybody has been given something. One of the things that I've learned about walking with God is that everything that something needs to succeed or reproduce itself is vested in them already. So if you think about what you said earlier, there's a baby in sperm. There is an oak tree in an acorn.
In an acorn, yeah.
And there is an ability to create wealth in us.
In us. Yeah.
We have the obligation to discover what God has given us and to learn how to monetize it. Just like God said to Moses, what have you got in your hand?
What have you got?
Stop talking about what you don't have.
Yeah, what have you got?
What have you got? What have you got? And
What
that's
have you got?
often a problem with us.
Yes.
We're always looking for what we don't have.
And you don't see what you have
And you
right
don't
there
see
in
what
the
you
palm
have.
of your hands.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then when you do discover what you do have, it's important that you learn how to work it. You got to learn how to work your gift, because a gift that you don't know how to work is useless.
It's useless.
So I think that whole exchange between God and Moses was God doing exactly that, showing him how to work his gift. God would say to him, put it down, throw it down, pick it up, put it under your shirt, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
He was showing him how to
Yes,
work it.
yeah.
And it's interesting what it turned into. That stick turned into a
A
snake.
serpent. Yeah.
You're lethal if you know how to work your
You
gift.
have to work it. Yeah.
You're lethal.
You're lethal.
I don't know how to do anything else but communicate. I really
Yes,
don't. I mean, some people are
exactly.
really good at dancing, cracking
Yeah.
jokes or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm useless. But I do know how to communicate. And it's been enough. It's been enough.
You should have been with us last week. We were talking about your power is your strength.
Yeah.
And once you've discovered your power, that is the strength that you are going to go forward.
Yeah.
And just multiply and grow. Because it will be like a magic trick to you. Once you've discovered your power, it will be like, wow, why wasn't I doing this like forever? I mean, and it will just be like a dream. It'll just be so easy, so simple. Effortlessly, you will just glide through life because it is your gift from
your gift.
God.
Yeah.
It's what God put you on this earth for. And each and every one of us, like you said, has a gift, has a power, has your strength, and no one can take that away from you.
You know, I was thinking this morning about what we used to do when we were in secondary school, how we used to do the debates and stuff like that.
Yes.
And I was thinking the seeds of this were already there.
Yes.
But you know, for the life of me, I never made the connection.
Look at how far we've come.
Yeah.
We used to represent our school at state level.
Yeah.
We were the debating team.
Yeah.
We were the debating guys, and
Yeah.
we won. We won at state level,
Really?
and
Yeah.
we got a certificate or
Yeah,
a shield,
awards,
an
everything,
award
yeah.
from the state governor. And would you believe, I text one of the gentlemen. Well, I was going to say boys. Well, he was a boy at the time, who he was also representing his school at the same time.
What school was that?
Was it Echo Boys High School? Or was it Methodist Boys High School? One of the two. Forgive me. He'll have to tell me. But he lives in America now. And I text him last night because he still has our picture.
No.
He has the picture.
Oh my God.
He has our picture. You, me, himself, and the Lagos State government receiving the award. Yes.
Oh, that would be great to have.
He
Tell him
said,
to send it.
he said, do you know what I did? It must be me getting old. I don't know. I put it on WhatsApp. I text him, and I fell asleep.
As you do.
As you do. And I woke up. A to B DJ says health is wealth. Absolutely. I love that. Health is wealth. That's a good one. Absolutely. Our health is our wealth.
Yeah.
And we're going to come back to that and talk about that a bit more. But I woke up this morning thinking, he hasn't replied me. And I went to look and I saw I didn't press send. I didn't press send, so bless him. But you know, there is that like 6 hours difference. He's in Houston, Texas. He will get it. He will send it because it seems to be a pride and joy in his collection. I can't believe he still has a picture of us.
No.
Yeah, he still has it, and it's amazing. So, like you said, the seed was sown because we had that gift of communication.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I said, what is your power last week? I said to you, I believe my power must be in communication. That's why I'm here in front of you. Yeah. That's why I started my own little show back in pandemic when we'd go online and we just talk. We just exchange and share. Yeah. And now it's elevated to a radio show where we can talk, discuss, come together with great friends and just sit back and chill and talk about those matters that matter to our hearts, our health. Yeah. Like Anton said, health is our wealth. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, why is finance important? Why do you think that finance management is important? I think it's the management of the finance. Because it's not just acquiring finance. Because many people do acquire a lot of money and then they find it just fizzles away. So why is it important for financial management?
You're so right, actually. It's actually not the amount of money that even passes through your hands. I've done a lot of research in the area of lottery winners and NBA players. And I discovered that the average professional life of an NBA player is about 11 years.
Okay.
And within that 11-year period, on average, about 8 to 9 million passes through their finger.
Oh,
through
wow.
their fingers.
Whoa.
On average.
How much?
Yes.
Hey.
And yet, within 5 years of the end of their professional life, I think the percentage is about 70% of them are bankrupt. I'm not talking they're not doing well financially, literally bankrupt. So it's not the amount of money that you have. It is understanding, one, how to grow it
Yes.
and how to protect it.
Protect
And that's where we're not doing very well. We're not doing good in those areas. You must be able to grow it, to replenish it. I think my whole thrust, as you know, is developing different income streams.
Yeah.
I can't see how you can become wealthy without different income streams. Nobody's going to become wealthy on a salary. I don't know anyone that's become wealthy on a salary. If you do acquire a certain amount of wealth from a salary, you always have to invest it to grow it.
Yeah.
So it's not that, oh, I'm in a high-powered paying job. Fantastic and great for you. But if you don't learn how to put that money to work for you, you won't have a lot of it for long. And also, you know, in today's marketplace, if you are not a business owner, you're an outsider. And if you're an outsider, it means you're always vulnerable in the marketplace. So to ensure that you don't be vulnerable in the marketplace, you must learn how to grow your wealth. And looking for different, income streams is, as far as I'm concerned, the way to go. We've been talking about gifts and talents. A lot of people have gifts, but they don't know how to monetize them. They don't. One, they don't even know the value of what they carry.
Yeah.
I have known people who have become wealthy just from cooking. And you're thinking, well, it's just cooking. I just make jollof rice. Well, the people who've become millionaires from doing that.
Yes.
All I know how to do is plait hair. I know people barbers who've become millionaires from cutting hair.
Yes.
So it's you may have to actually engage your services or someone like a business consultant or someone like that, but someone who can show you how to change this, turn this from raw talent,
just a little side habit or hobby or into a monetized business venture.
Yes,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. And how does this affect mental health when you know know that your finances are in a good place?
A lot. It does a lot for your self-esteem. Let's deal with the opposite first. When your finances are not in a good place. Now, for instance, if you are going to a job, a lot of people go to a job that they don't really want to be at. They don't want to be in.
Yeah, they don't want to.
They don't want to be in. In fact, research shows that 70% of heart attacks happen on a Monday morning between the hours of 7 and 10 in the morning, when people are getting ready to go to a job that they hate, to sit with people that they have nothing in common with. They're overworked, they're underpaid. And if you're doing that day in, day out, year in, year out, it does something to your psyche.
It's going to affect your mental health, your mental state of mind.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Even the way you perceive yourself, after a while, you begin to shrink. You know what I mean? Inside, you begin to shrink.
Yeah.
I'm more than this, but
being there,
I'm
done
trapped.
That, bought the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's also talk about women in particular. If I had £1 for every woman I know that is stuck in a relationship that they don't want to be in, but for the fact that financially they can't stand on their own 2 feet, and the guy is taking advantage of that. He knows she can't walk,
and it's not right.
So I'm really passionate about women in particular being financially independent. Very, very passionate about that. Because again, it affects your mental health.
It does.
Knowing that you can't walk, but for the fact that your bank balance is you're trapped.
You feel that sense of being trapped, and it suffocates you. Yeah, it's not a good feeling.
It's not. And if you've ever been around a relationship that is abusive, and the children know,
oh dear, the children.
The very children you're often trying to protect, you then become an issue of ridicule and derision and a lack of respect for them, because they know that you're accepting this because you can't stand on your own 2 feet.
Yeah.
So all this definitely affects your mental health. And let's look at men. I mean, the ability to provide is connected to their ego, their whole essence of who they are. Yeah, that's their God-given call.
They see themselves as the hunter-gatherers.
And if you can't do that for any reason, it affects your mental health.
It affects your mental health, yeah.
It affects your mental health.
Absolutely.
And then, sometimes we see men acting out in ways that have nothing to do with the actual acting out. I mean, some men have affairs, not because they want to have an affair, but because they feel so emasculated.
Emasculated, that's the word, yeah. They're emasculated, they feel helpless, they feel hopeless, they frustrated.
Yes. And so they're just looking for someone who's going to tell them, what they need to hear. And women are really good at that.
Someone
baby, you a stud,
to
baby.
bruise their
You a stud.
rub that ego.
You're the man.
You're the man. Yep. We laugh, but it is a fact. It is a fact of life. It is a fact. I wanted to say, I'll ask you what your opinion is about from what age financial habits are formed, because statistics show, and the survey shows that everything you're going to learn about finance is already instilled in you from the age of 7.
I agree with that. And in our culture has not set us a good example, because nobody talks about money in our culture.
No, it's like a taboo.
It's like a taboo.
Hey.
It's like a taboo.
Why?
I know women who don't know, till today, they don't know how much their husbands earn.
Yep.
Our parents never used to talk about money.
So much secrecy around.
And it's so connected, especially in Africa, it's so connected to the man's ego that he feels that if he talks about it, he loses some kind of power.
Power or control.
So, yes, so that was difficult. And I remember a friend of mine saying recently that her son was saying he would never marry a Nigerian girl because we're very money conscious. And what he fails to understand, I get where he's coming from, but he doesn't understand the context. If you've grown up watching your mother ask your father for school fees, for that kind of thing, ask
for
him
shoes,
for rent,
for sure,
your
for
children want to go on holiday, you've seen her go there. It says something to you. It says to a young woman, this is a man's job. This is a man's job. Even when she's in a position to help, she still thinks it's the guy's job.
Yes.
So, I think you're so right. And for me, watching that whole money dynamics, like you said, I think spoke to me. My mom was very entrepreneurial. So watching her, she wasn't as educated as my dad. My dad was a chartered accountant. She wasn't as educated as my dad, but she was very entrepreneurial. And she was Igbo, so you know how they are.
Oh yes. Say no more.
So if you gave her £1, she could turn it into 10. She knew how to do that.
Awesome.
But my dad was very academic, but didn't necessarily understand money. So again, you're right. I think all those kind of don'ts. And when you look at the Jewish community, one of the success stories of the Jewish community is that they constantly talk about money.
Constantly.
Always. They're at the dinner table.
They never stop.
Talking about money with the children. So the children grow up.
Yes.
Hearing about money.
Yes.
Developing a healthy attitude towards money.
Yes.
Being rewarded for money. That, doing household chores and getting paid for it and things like that.
Healthy money habits. So
I think you're right.
Yeah. It's I wanted to share a quick story about myself looking to invest in a business a couple of years ago. A lady approached me, and at the time, a couple of years before that, I had money to invest, because as we do, before you start a business, you have to have some capital. Anyone that knows about starting business, you want to have some capital, but unfortunately COVID just drained all the capital away. And she came to me just in the middle of COVID, the tail end of COVID. And I said to her, I don't have the money. I really don't have it now. It's gone. I haven't got another job. My car was on hire purchase at the time. And so all the money I had gone on the car. I had to get rid of that car. The car was gone by the end of 2020. And it was bad timing. I think it's down to bad timing. But she kept pressurizing me, and I caved in eventually, and I went and took out a loan. And she said that, you pay the loan off in 3 months, it'll be gone, because once that business starts up and running, it'll boom, boom, boom. And on paper, this business looked like we were going to take over the world. And that loan was going to be gone in 3 months. I'd even be thinking, what loan? I'm riding so high, I don't even think about it. Well, I think the moral of the story, why I mention it, is that sometimes in business and in life, when something looks too good to be true,
Yeah, it is.
it is.
Going back to that, what you were saying about the whole money, learning about money from a young age.
Yeah.
I think in my circumstance, in hindsight, I developed a poverty mentality.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I-
Yes. Same here.
Yeah, because
So we can't
we
let
weren't
go of
wealthy.
anything. Yeah.
And we were managing quite a bit. And I was the eldest of, my story. My
Yeah.
mom died when
You
I
were
was
the
young and everything like that.
you're the eldest.
And
Yeah.
so I was managing quite a bit. And I kind of grew up with that management mentality. And I grew up with a phrase, anything is better than nothing.
Yes.
So if we can just eat tonight, that's fine. If we can just buy a new school uniform, that's fine.
That's
that
fine.
kind of thing.
That's fine.
Now, I didn't realize how damaging that was. And so even in my adult life, and I'm talking even, there are times today that I have to catch myself. There was a time in my life that if there wasn't a massive sale sign slashed across a shop, I wouldn't even go near it. And there were certain, yeah. And there were certain shops that I just didn't even go in at all.
Yeah.
Because I had a poverty mentality.
Absolutely.
Which I've had to fight against, and I really thank God for the Word of God that has helped me kick against a lot of that stuff. But again, even in business, that kind of thing can be destroying because an opportunity is there, and other people who don't have that mentality have gone in, taken advantage of the opportunity, made their money, and got out. But I'm hesitating, and I'm wondering, and I'm dilly-dallying,
Scared,
and
you're
I'm
not
scared.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you feel the little I have. Do I really want to?
That's
Can I
it,
afford
to let it
to let it go?
go. That's it.
Although it looks like a good opportunity, and it should generate, but you're still a bit scared to I'm not sure. I don't know. But I think it's also like growing up, like you said, we had nothing. I just literally had nothing. No pocket money. My parents didn't believe in pocket money, even when we were teenagers. And every summer holiday would come round and we would beg our dad, can we go and get a summer job? If you're not going to give us pocket money, let us go out and have a summer job. Yeah. He was adamant. No way are you working out there. I think he wanted to protect us from the big bad world out there. But we were not making any money. We were not getting that the lessons that we needed to learn in our teenage. We were not getting them because we needed to instill in us the work hard for your money, get a bit of money, invest here, save there, and of course buy yourself a little lollipop sometimes. But these were the basic sort of principles that we were missing out on. And it wasn't until we were like in our early 20s before we actually got our first jobs. And by that time, like we said, the habits for money, we haven't formed any, to be honest. We know about money, but we're just not really that savvy.
Yeah.
So I mean,
the whole financial literacy thing has been in recent years for me.
Yeah.
It has been in recent years, and I'm determined that the kids don't have that kind of problem.
Yeah. Yes.
It's important that your children go out and work. It's important that they do that. I remember when my kids were young, I used to drag them if I was going to go and speak somewhere. I used to drag them along. Mum was like, Mum, it's 7:00 on a Saturday morning. Yeah, are you not going to eat on a Saturday morning? Yes, we are. Well, then if you can eat, you can work.
You can come. Go. My husband, his dad used to drag him to court. To court. His dad was a lawyer. I used to drag him to court whenever he could, and he hated it. He hated it. Why does this man? But you look back and you think the man had some. You see, he had a good idea. It's just the method. It's the way. But I feel in his mind, he's instilling that Okay. It was like take your kid to school, take your kid to work day, to court, yeah, and let him see this is what I do, this is what Daddy does, and like you said, this is what we do to put food on the table, and if you're gonna eat, this is how we're eating, you know. And God bless him. I mean, it was harsh, but there was a lesson in there somewhere. It's not how we'd probably go about it today, but you know, it does help, and I think it's good to see. I used to be really excited when Daddy used to take us to his office. He was an accountant. He was and he used to work with a big company in Lagos then. And I always used to like going into his office, see where he sits, see what he does, see people he works with, and it gave us a sense of what he does every day. So these are good things. These are good things. So let's run down some of the other questions before we go to our trivia. Do not go away, we get a trivia. Oh my gosh. And this trivia is going to blow your mind. But before we go there, I just wanted to ask, when did you get the aha moment to start a company?
Okay, so going back to childhood again and seeds, something in my subconscious told me that the route to wealth was not necessarily through academics.
Okay.
It was there in the back of my mind.
Yes.
I didn't know what I was going to do about it. But it was there. Because I had some friends who were seemingly very, very wealthy. So they had, you know, the beautiful house in Ikoyi or wherever, the driver, the car, the chef, and all that.
Yeah.
And then one day you'd go to their house and you'd be wondering if it was the same house. And you'd be wondering, okay, what happened? Where's the car? And then you discovered that all that was attached to the job. It was the company house, and the company car, and the
company chef, the company,
Yes. And oftentimes the parents hadn't done anything. They hadn't thought beyond what happens if we lose this job.
If it all goes.
It all goes. Meanwhile, I had other friends whose parents didn't seem as glamorous. So maybe the mum was selling lace material in one market or something like that. But in the long term, I discovered that those kind of people seemed to do better when it came to building lasting wealth. So that was there on the back of my mind. So even though I had, at the time, 2 degrees, I was thinking, this still ain't going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. So my husband and I, the first company we did was we were importing specialist pasta from Italy. This is forever ago.
Oh, yeah.
And we started getting some traction. It was good and everything like that. And then one day we got this order from an airline. We don't know how they got our details, but we got this massive order from an airline who wanted to, start giving their passengers this specialist pasta. So we thought, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But what they wanted was a 90-day letter of credit turnaround. So what that would mean was that we would have to supply the pasta, and then they had 90 days with which to pay us. Which is fine. It was a legitimate airline and everything like that was fine. Yeah. The bad thing about it was that we didn't have any money in order to pay for the pasta up front. We were buying it in drips and drabs. But
they
for an
wanted
order,
a large order.
It was an airline.
Oh, wow.
So we thought, okay, no problem. We'll just take this letter of engagement down to our local bank manager, who will be ecstatic and will,
Or
follow
so you
themselves, to help us.
Yeah.
So we sat across him, in his office, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and excited and everything. And then he said, "Oh, this is good. What's your collateral?" And we looked at each other. What's he on about? We didn't even understand the language. What? He said, "What assets do you own?" Assets? We lived in a council flat. We didn't even have a car. We just got married.
Yeah.
We didn't have any money. We definitely didn't have any money. We were living paycheck to paycheck. So we said, we don't own anything. So, oh, well, I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Clement, we won't be able to lend you the money.
Oh.
We couldn't understand it. But
why?
You've got the letter, contact the airline.
Yeah.
Do you think it's not legit? I said, no, it's not that it's not legit.
Yeah.
But you haven't got any collateral. Supposing you default. Well, no, we're not going to default. Long story short,
Yeah.
that was a bitter lesson.
Yes.
But it taught me that you've got to have assets.
You've got to have assets. You've got to have collateral.
You've got to have collateral.
You have to.
So that taught me a lot. But that was the first inclination to go into business. That was the first one.
To start your own business.
To start
and
our own
have your
business. Yeah.
Yeah. So what 5 tips would you give anyone thinking of following in your footsteps?
Right. 1. First of all, establish, does anybody actually want to buy this product? Because what often happens is we see something that we like, so it might be this book, and we think, oh, I would buy this if I saw it.
Yeah.
And then we assume that because we would buy it,
Yeah.
somebody else would. So, and often after expending time, energy, and money, we discover that actually, after my mum did the sympathy purchase, my God, so she's making a fool of herself.
Oh God, I better buy one. Quick. Oh dear.
So after your mum and your best friend, and your pastor,
yeah, that's it. Maybe, yeah, that's it. Maybe a cousin once removed buys it. That's it.
That's it, mate.
That's it. Throw it away.
It's on the shelf.
No one else.
So, does anyone actually want to buy the product?
Yeah,
that's the first thing, and not to assume that because it's a universal product, even if it's water. Some people like still water, some people like flavored water, some people like whatever.
Fizzy water, whatever. Yeah.
So even if it's a universal product, because people often say that to me, if I say to them, okay, so who's your customer? So, everybody's my customer.
Everybody's
not your customer.
You have to do a study group.
You must. So that's the first thing. Does anybody want this product? 2, who wants the product? So you should be able to tie your customer down to the minutest detail. Their age group, their ethnic group, their what kind of disposable income they have, where do they hang out, that kind of thing. You must identify your demographic very, very quickly. 3, getting your pricing right.
Yes.
Particularly if you are a professional, because often professionals don't. So, especially if you start it as a side hustle, I'll give a personal example, which was quite a bitter lesson. When I started my employment/HR consultancy back in the day, I had a full-time job at the time. I was an employment lawyer for a trade union. So I identified a gap in the market. So I started this consultancy. So for me, it wasn't really a big deal. I was doing exactly what I was doing in my job. I was just advising small business owners and employees. So I didn't know how to cost my fees. So I thought, okay, for an hourly rate, what should I? Okay, so I came up with £30 an hour. So I was doing that. And then one day, a friend of mine who had started a tax consultancy referred a client to me. So I did all the policies and procedures for this client, and did the staff handbook and all that, employment contracts and the rest.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then my friend gave me a call and said, Bibi, what did you do for that guy? So I told him what I did. I said, was he not happy? He said, actually, he was ecstatic. So I'm wondering, what exactly did you do?
Ecstatic. I like that. Wow.
So here's me thinking, the customer service was great.
Yeah.
So I talked him through what I did. He still wasn't convinced. He said, do you mind if I ask, how much did you charge? I said, well, my hourly rate is £30. He nearly passed out. He said, are you crazy?
Oh, my gosh.
But again, going back to the poverty mentality.
Yes.
Anything was better than nothing.
You didn't know your value at that time.
That's the word. That is the word.
Yes.
So he said, how can you charge £30 an hour? You can't do that. He said, triple it. That was his word. Triple it. My mind could not compute that.
Could not compute.
It just couldn't. And you're so right. It went back to value. I didn't understand the value of what I was offering. That's what should have been the driver.
Yes.
What is the value of not having proper policies and procedures? If you end up in tribunal, you'll know the value.
You'll know.
You'll know the value. So the client already knew that in his mind, that, man, if I don't get this in place.
He knew he was getting a bargain.
He knew he was getting a bargain.
And that you didn't know.
And I didn't know that I was the fool here. So I'm thinking, he's employed me for what, 20 hours and to do the job. I was happy.
Yeah,
I was happy.
You would be. You'd be very happy. and your mental health at that point will be skyrocketing because you think I'm in the money.
I'm
but
in
you
the
don't-
money.
you
I've
don't
got salary
know.
coming in.
But
and,
he was
yeah.
happy as well. His mental
And
health
he's
was
happy.
He's very happy. So
Everybody was happy.
Everybody was happy.
The fool was smiling.
So where do we go, and how do we start if we want to get on this ladder? If we want to go on this, we want to improve ourselves. We
Yeah.
want to get to maybe where you are or beyond, or even discover our strength and our talent and monetize it. Where do we go? What do we do?
Well, most of us are employees. Let's
Yeah.
start with that.
Yeah.
Now, one of the words of warning that I often give my clients is an employee and an entrepreneur are two completely different animals.
Absolutely.
They really are. It's a completely different mindset.
Yes.
And if you carry an employee mindset into the marketplace, it's unlikely that you'll do well. You've got to start thinking like an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You really have to.
Yes. Yeah.
Looking at opportunities. Again, if you're an employee, because you're used to being told what to do,
Yeah.
you no longer, you kind of lose your ability to see opportunities
Yeah.
because you're used to being told what to do.
Mm-hmm.
But an entrepreneur is constantly looking at opportunities.
Yeah.
I remember I was just having a conversation with someone recently, and while they were speaking, I'm thinking, I could make a business out of that. I'm actually going to do it. And I'm thinking,
Okay.
that's interesting. She didn't know what she'd said.
She did know.
I was like,
You
yeah, I'm
see,
gonna make
be
money
careful
out
what
of
you
that.
say.
But
Be
it's a completely
careful
different
what you
mindset.
say.
So
Yeah.
I would, first of all, start with that. Do I have the mindset of an entrepreneur, and what do I need to acquire one? Because I didn't start with that kind of mentality, but I did develop it along the way. 2, have a transition plan. I remember there was a time I went into my workplace and then just hastily resigned.
Why is that?
Well, I'd had a conversation, or I'd listened into a conversation with some of my colleagues the day before, and someone was talking about how she'd been there 12 years and how this one had been there 10 years and all the rest. And in that particular job, we were at the lowest rung of the ladder. So I'm thinking, are you kidding me? You've been on this level for 12 years. And I was scared that was going to happen to me.
So how did your mental health feel at that?
Well,
that point?
I immediately felt trapped.
You felt
I felt that
trapped.
if I
You felt
don't do
scared.
something,
At
I was scared.
12 years down the line,
this is going to be me.
This is your future.
So
Oh,
I remember I went home, we just got married, and I went home and I told my husband I'm resigning. And he was like, why? Why? What?
Yeah, so yeah.
So I explained to him what had happened, and he said, well, don't resign. Let's see how it goes. And I said, no, because I will lose my nerve. And I knew that once I start having children, because they have things like flexi time, it seemed like it'd be, it's flexi time.
It's so comfortable now.
Yeah. I thought, no, I got to do it now. If I don't do
Yes.
it now,
You never
so
will.
cold turkey, I got to do it.
Yeah.
So I went in the next day and resigned, but I paid a huge price for that. Because for the next 6 months, I couldn't get a job. So you can imagine the kind of fights we were having at home.
I can only imagine.
So but so I wouldn't encourage you to do that, but do have a transition plan. Most companies don't turn a profit for the first 2 years. A lot of people don't know that, so they're thinking, 3 months time we're going to be flying high, that kind of thing. So have a plan. Okay, if we don't make any money, if I have nothing coming in for the next 2 years, how am I going to eat?
Yeah.
So have that contingency for a start. And then ensure that you know enough about the industry that you want to go into.
Yes.
Because
Very
oftentimes
important.
we piggyback on somebody else's success. Oh, Dee's doing it, and she's successful at it. Well, that's what Dee's been given to do, and maybe she has the skills for it. You might be rubbish at it. So how much do you actually know about the industry that you're about to go into?
True talk.
Do you have the skills? If you don't, do you need to hire someone that does? Those kind of things that we often don't think about. And then in relation to family, because I'm very, very big on family, I think a business is supposed to bring you together, not push you apart.
Absolutely. Yes.
And we've seen many, many people who go into business and the family falls apart. So family-wise, make sure you take your family with you.
Absolutely. They've got to be on board.
They've got to be on
And
board.
tomorrow is International Day of Family, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we talked about it before you
Ah.
arrived. Celebrating families tomorrow.
Good. So make sure that they're on board. They understand what it is that you're trying to do. because you will make a sacrifice. Not just a sacrifice. You will make huge sacrifices.
Yeah, and it affects the whole
And
family.
it affects the whole dynamics of the whole family.
and the mental health of
Yeah.
the whole family.
Yes. I mean, there have been times when my children, you can tell they're beginning to be a bit resentful.
Yes.
And then me and my husband, because we're
Kids
both
are good
suffering.
at that.
Yeah. So me and my husband will have to sit down and say, okay, you know what? For the maybe next term, you have to be home for dinner every day, or we got to make sure that the next time he has a school play, one
You're
of us
there.
is going to be there. That kind of thing.
Because you don't want them to feel neglected
Yes.
above the business that you're
Yes.
doing. So
Yeah. So
Thank-
those kind of things I think.
thank you so much for that. So just a quick trivia, a few light questions for you. I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite color?
Ah. Probably black, to be honest.
Black.
Clothing wise, yeah, probably black.
That's an easy word, cop out. I'm sorry. No, other than black.
Other than black.
What do you think?
What else have I got?
What's your favorite colors on the comments? What's your favorite colors? Because I remember I used to wear black a lot when I was a teenager. And one day, one woman came up to me and said, "Are you at a funeral? Why do you always wear black? Have you got any color in your wardrobe?" So from that day on, I did make an intentional effort to buy things with color in them, and I think definitely it lifts your mood.
Yeah. I
If
think
you're
right,
in bright colors, it actually lifts your mental health. You feel lighter, you feel happier. It does make. I remember when I was in a job, I detest it.
We've been there.
You would know when I was having a bad day because I'd be in all black. Yep, I would wear all black.
Literally mourning the job.
I'm mourning the job. Absolutely, absolutely. And coming back to food, because you know how we love food. We talked about food, and I've already asked you what's your favorite meal, and you've told us quite a few of them. But we want to come back to jollof rice, because I know that's one of your favorites. What's your take on the jollof rice debate?
About whether
it's Ghanaian or Nigerian.
there is no debate. Please. Let's move on. There is no debate.
Oh, I'm loving this. Okay, we're just going to take a quick break before we have some trivia.
Fuck with me. Don't fuck with me. 'Cause you can be anything. Anything. 'Cause you can be talking so. It's not a bluff. It's a sticker up. Pick it up. Nigga, break it up. Nigga, pick your bluff. Pick it up. Push your fucking luck. It's a sticker up. Dig it up. Nigga, dig it up. It's a sticker up. Say fuck it up. This is not a bluff. It's a sticker up. Pick it up. Nigga, break it up. Nigga, pick it up. Pick it up. Push your fucking luck. It's a sticker up. Dig it up. Nigga, dig it up. It's a sticker up. Say fuck it up. This is not a bluff. It's a sticker up. Pick it up. Nigga, break it up. Nigga, pick your bluff. Pick it up. Push your fucking luck. It's a sticker up. Dig it up. Nigga, dig it up. It's a sticker up.
Hello, and we're back. We are back. I'm hoping that you can hear us loud and clear on Just Cool Radio on Wednesday, 14th of May, with my lovely guest, Bebe CLEMENT, our guest on Women's Wellness Wednesdays. Yes, thank you. So we were going to do a quick trivia. I wanted to ask you and our lovely guests, our lovely listeners, how many bones comprise a giraffe's neck?
No idea.
In the comments, how many bones do you think comprise in a giraffe's
Do
neck?
they have bones in their neck?
Bones in their neck? Yes.
Oh, okay.
What, you think because it's long, you
Yeah.
know, that they don't have bones? Yeah, but how, you know they keep their necks up. So there must be some bones in
No
there.
idea. No, sorry.
Okay.
I hope my
Has
kids are not
anybody-
watching this.
Oh, I hope they are. Okay, just to make it quick and put us out of our misery, the answer is 7.
For real?
They have 7 bones. The same number of bones as in a human being's neck.
Wow,
Exactly
didn't know
the
that
same.
either.
And we learned something new, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same number, except that the giraffes, of course, are huge. Each cervical vertebrae averaging about 10 inches in length, and that's a lot. That's a lot of inches. So that's something nice and new that we've found out today, isn't it? It's nice.
Yeah.
So when you next time you look at giraffes, just think they've got exactly the same number of bones in their neck as you have. Theirs is just a little bit bigger. So we wanted to just bring ourselves on the spotlight of self-care. And this week's topic or ritual is saying, I am thankful. I am thankful. You know, there are a lot of things going on in our lives, in other people's lives. When you look around the world and you look at your life and you think, you know what, my life isn't just as bad as I thought it was. It might not be perfect, but it's just not as bad as I thought. And so we have many, many things to be thankful for.
Yeah.
And I feel the reason and why it matters to be thankful and to intentionally put it out there that I am thankful for certain things is because it frees your mind to receive blessings. What do you think?
Yeah. Personally, this is a daily ritual.
Yes.
Before my feet hit the floor, it's got to start with, Lord, I'm thankful.
Lord, I'm thankful.
Lord, I'm thankful.
Thank you, Lord. I'm alive. I've woken up.
Nobody
I'm
had
here.
to carry me out of this bed.
Amen to that. Amen to that. So how to practice it, as Bibi has said, wake up the first thing in the morning and just say, I'm thankful. Intentionally think of all the blessings you have. You're thankful for, and just list them one by one and say, I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I'm thankful. Okay. And our wellness affirmation for today is, we continue to say, I make positive changes one day at a time.
Okay.
Yeah. So all the things that we have discussed today, I hope it's been useful. I hope it's resonated with you. I hope you can take away something from all that we have discussed in the last 2 hours. Can you believe it's been 2 hours?
Honestly.
Of fun. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Look at us here. I could go on. I'm sure you can too. That's how it feels, these 2 hours. It's been amazing. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming down, Bibi, and being our wonderful guest. We couldn't have done it without you. I always love you, darling, and you're definitely coming back. Yeah, you're not getting away that easy. Now you know where we are.
Yes. Yes.
No, it's brilliant. It's been lovely having you here.
Thank you.
We love what you've given us. Is there one last thing you'd just like to for us to take away from the topic today about wealth creation and why it's important and our finances? Just one last little thing.
Yes.
You've got a minute.
Okay. Life is way too short for you to be doing anything other than what you were created to be and do. And part of what you were created to be and do is to create wealth. That is a part of it. Not everyone can be an entrepreneur, but everybody can create wealth. So you need to be able to look around and find out what you can do to create wealth, what you can invest in, how you can put your money to work, what gifts you have that you can monetize, who you can partner with, other people's business you can invest in. But you must leave a legacy. The Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance, not even for his children, for his children's children. So God is thinking generationally about money. Yes. You should be doing the same.
Absolutely. Those are wise words. Thank you so much, Bebe CLEMENT. Yeah, thank you so much for that. And it's the top of the hour, and we'll see you next week, same time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
She promised God if she would enjoy every day of her life. Oh. On national television, her diamond eyes are sparkling, bald-headed like a full moon shining, singing out to the whole wide world like, hey, I am not this skin. I am not your expectations. No, I am not my hair. I am not this skin. I am the soul that lives within.
Just Cool Radio, disturbing the silence. Everybody turn it up loud. Just Cool Radio, Madina.
Are you looking to take your business, community project, or product to the next level? Want to reach a dynamic and engaged audience? Look no further than JusCoolRadio.com. At JusCoolRadio, We offer the perfect platform to showcase your brand. Our diverse programming and loyal listeners are the ideal match for your advertising needs. Whether you're a local business, an emerging entrepreneur, we've got you covered. Want to add some star power to your event? Book Just Cool Radio talent to bring excitement and professionalism to your next big occasion. Our talented hosts and DJs will keep your audience entertained and engaged. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Visit JusCoolRadio.com today to learn more about our affordable advertising packages and booking options. Just Cool Radio, disturbing the silence, catching the eyes of many.